After Logan murdered Saturnyne in her own home, chaos erupted. A fierce three-way battle between the forces of Saturnyne, Krakoa, and Arako sent the Starlight Citadel plummeting from the clouds. Magic managed to teleport the Krakoans home as the cacophony of the palace shattering below reverberated in their ears. With the external gate closed, arguments began anew in the Quiet Council about what, if anything, was owed to Otherworld. It was a short row as the external gate ruptured with the full fury of battle-hardened Araki soldiers. They had already brought immense to heal, and now the campaign for Earth had commenced on Krakoa. For 3 days and nights, the mutants waged war upon each other. The Araki were reinforced constantly from the gate, but the Krakoans did not have their number. Tens of thousands of mutants were slaughtered before a call for help was made. A telepathic mind bomb was hauled through the gate and detonated. Hundreds of mutants' higher brain functions were erased from their brains, including Moira X and her no place. Krakoa issued a distress call that was answered by Earth's mightiest heroes, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the hosts of Asgard, who all fought and lost. The mountains of corpses turned the waters around Krakoa red, and the island burned alive. One mutant witnessed the end of a dream. One mutant watched as Apocalypse was decapitated, drawn, and quartered. The Wolverine saw it all with deathless eyes. With Saturnyne dead, there was no contest, and there was no defense from the Araki in Otherworld. Otherworld fell quickly, and then it was on to Earth, and even its mightiest heroes were no match for the invaders. To the victor go the spoils. So we get this terrible, terrible scene of Earth, New York burning, dragons flying everywhere. The Sanctum Sanctorum has been attacked, and we see Doctor Strange burning up, flying out of that window. And we see Wolverine crucified on this X. Saturnyne is there torturing him with her own set of claws. And what is the final fate of Krakoa's deathless man? Turnabout is fair play. Right, Logan? Stabbing is kind of fun. Your head will never wear a crown, Logan, but I know you care deeply for your people. So, despite the harm you intended me, I freely give you this gift, this glimpse of the future. This is what happens if you fail your people. So suddenly we are back in the dining hall and the dinner where everybody was like nothing happened. How the hell? Now, why don't you sit back down before your food gets cold? She had given Logan a vision of what would happen, circumvented his whole attack like it never happened. That was pretty crazy. Or shall I banish you to a lifeless realm? He goes back to sit down, and Storm tries to ask like what happened. Logan? It didn't happen, just forget it. Cipher is steadily eating his sushi and eats some of Logan's, not knowing that War had just poisoned his food. I didn't think you mind if I batted cleanup on your sushi app. It's exquisite. I don't give a rat's ass. What the hell is that? Stop. Cipher starts dying and everybody's freaking out. Our first course is somebody's poisoned my appetizer. Why don't we give you a moment? Hang on, kid. His throat is closing. He cannot breathe. Iska comes up, throws a small dagger in his airway. A second airway for the boy. I could have done that. Then why didn't you? We need to get him home now. Chaos is broken out at this function, and White Sword approaches War while the confusion is going on because he caught what happened. He knows exactly what happened. He really scolds her. You poisoned a boy at a feast. It should have been the Wolverine. There is far too much at stake to let our fates be decided by the crossing of swords, and that little monster he will be our greatest impediment. Back off. They only call you unbeatable because you haven't faced me. Is he alive? He is fading. Wolverine is trying to tell Saturnyne to send them back to Krakoa, but she's not trying to help after what he just pulled. Send us back to Krakoa now. Surely you don't intend to forfeit after the gift I just gave you? The white sword is not going to let Cipher die because that would bring shame upon him. So that she would do something so underhanded at a function that's supposed to be parlay, where everybody's here for peaceful times. Not all of us have hundreds of soldiers enslaved to our service. We all make war in our own way. Poison, the weapon of the craven, and the white sword will not be a party to cowardice. There's a reason the tower never fell. Be healed, boy. He heals Cipher, drawing all the black, nasty poison out of his body through his eyes. You are whole, Cipher, sword of Krakoa, and I release you from any obligation to me. And he also releases him from his power, so once he releases somebody, it'll never work on them again. Apocalypse and Annihilation / Genesis are just sitting off to the side. I see you did well with the children. I did my best. While this commotion and chaos is all about, everybody is turned up. Like Nuck If You Buck just came on. I'm just so certain that a fight is about to break out. Pog your pog, Will. A shame. I was enjoying dinner. I'd rather just get on with it. If you had anything to do with this, This is disgraceful. Meanwhile, in the middle of this chaos, Brian Braddock approaches Saturnyne to talk. Saturnyne, may I petition you? Of course you may. She snaps her fingers and mutes everybody. I don't know if anybody else knows that they can't be heard or it's just these two in a soundproof bubble. You have my complete and undivided attention, Brian. Thank you. Clearly, the Iraqi have violated your invitation and sought to win by cheating. I would request that you set aside their claim, declare Krakoa the winner by forfeit, and send the Iraqi on their way. There is fairness in your suggestion, and I would move to vacate their claim. However, the Krakoans also sought to commit murder this evening. They attempted to slay me. Damn that pig-headed dwarf. Heard that, Braddock. I'm impressed, Wolverine. Truly I am. I didn't even consider an attack on the Majestrix. I just want to get my people home safe. The singular desire of every brave soldier. I am afraid we really must serve the next course. Please, take your seats. Everybody kind of gets back in order. We hope you enjoy these scarabs stuffed with the hearts of Polyne from the rivers of Woolhavy, cooked to perfection in a reduction of the greatest wines from Sevalith. You dare serve me this sacred beetle. Death does not appreciate being served this sacred scarab beetle. He takes off his helmet, and his ability is this the first time we've actually really seen it, is some kind of death stare. The man immediately begins to go into some kind of decaying state. He rots and dies, but when death goes back to his seat, his scarab is gone, his black lobster, and Wolverine is having a good old time. He didn't want to waste it. Brian Braddock apologizes to Saturnyne for Wolverine's actions. I didn't know what Logan intended, but of course not. And I too am sorry that I couldn't grant your request. Still, perhaps some accommodations could be made if you were to lift the right sword and reclaim the mantle you were destined for. And she's still trying her best to get him into the honeypot, and he's just not buying it. He's not going for it. Forgive me, but that is in my past. I trust you won't go to bits? No, not I. She just continues to embarrass herself, but luckily the cringe moment is interrupted by the next course, which is the Great Horned Beast. Are those real? Bloody hell. Wonderful. The main course has arrived, served for only the second time in the Hall of Fallen Banners. The Great Horned Beast. And yes, it is what you think it is. I never eat, for I am beyond hunger. But for the great unicorn, I will make an exception. Let the goddess take me before I ever. It's good. Damn good. I get the sense that Summoner is not well liked even amongst his own people. I didn't really notice it before, but he's kind of got this messy energy, like kind of snarky. White Sword just kind of bluntly lets him know that he's not for play. I've never seen the White Sword snatch a soul from death and fail to conscript them into his army. Well, I've never been asked to carry the shame of a poisoning at a parlay. He basically called his mom trash. The boy doesn't know how lucky he is. It's one thing to die. It's another to be eternal fodder for your battles. Lifting a sword is a small price for eternal life. I don't plan to die for a long time, but I only intend to do it once. If there is one thing that truly bores me, it is listening to others plan for their eventual deaths. Tell me, White Sword, would you be able to resurrect yourself? I have no idea, and I will never know. So, tension is still thick over here by Apocalypse and Annihilation/Genesis, and Cable has to say something. He had to open his mouth. This has to be weird for you guys. Weird is a human word, Cable, used to describe a reality that their small minds fail to grasp. You'll understand that in time when you have more experience. He went ahead and slunk on away and went to talk to Iska. You're Iska, right? I am. And your power is you can't be beaten? Never have, never will. That's so cool. Can you show me? You will witness my power tomorrow. He finds that her ability is pretty interesting, so he wants to know more. Magic takes this opportunity to also get some more information about how her powers work. Ooh, I thought we were all going to be dead tomorrow. Let's see you go now. I've got a few ideas. So they want to do a bunch of like little tests for her. Not much of a contest, and Pog Your Pog already had a tail. Now do Logan. And done. And finally, okay, now which one is it under now? She nailed it. You've never lost at anything? Guess what number I'm thinking of. You're not thinking of a number. She's right. Imagine what would happen if she fought Domino. Your friend would lose. I'm not looking forward to fighting you. You may live to a ripe old age after all. Our enemies are so weak and soft. Your words ring true on the wind, but we look at them and wonder. About what? They are coddled unfit. Or perhaps these mutants were grown on a better world than ours. If we had set roots on Krakoa, we would have grown in the sun and set aside such thoughts. Do not attach yourselves to these weak mutants, Redroot. We shall cull them come the dawn. Wolverine's telling Storm about the vision he had, and I saw our entire world burn. We have the power to stop it, and we will. We better have a plan if the score ain't in our favor. Saturnyne makes her last announcement for the night. Sword bearers and honored guests, thank you for joining us this evening. I hope you have enjoyed my hospitality. You have all dined well. Now, you must return to your chambers and sleep well. For your bodies and minds will be pushed to the limits as you compete for your nations. And now, the cards will determine the first contest. Blades will cross at dawn. Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain, and Iska, the unbeaten of Arakko. To the death. Okay, so this is it. We are into the official first match, which will be Betsy Braddock, Captain Britain versus Iska, the unbeaten. Jim Jaspers has a betting sheet with all the bets that he's collecting for people who like to gamble. Iska, the unbeaten, has the best odds out of everybody. She has like 2-to-1 chance of winning. And who has the worst? Obviously, is Cipher's like 1 in 5,000 chance of winning. I was like, damn, they played him. This has been Fandom Sage, and thank you for checking me out and your continued support. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, the like button, give us a share, and I will see you in the next video.